Boys and gals, hello, welcome back. It's Thursday. It's February something, February 6th. And we're going, we're rocking, we're rolling. Let me get a light on in here so you can see all my dirty stuff going on. Anyway, boys and girls, 3-3 day yesterday, coming off a 6-1 day. We hate going backwards, so we went 3-3 on Monday, and then 6-1 on Tuesday, and then 3-3 yesterday. So if my math is doing me right, that's 12-7 so far this week. So you're winning money. You're up 5 units if you're betting a unit on each game. So I know a lot of you are or aren't or may not follow every pick, but a quick recap yesterday. Thunder first half -7.5. Jeez, man. They lose the first half, and then they decided that their game was supposed to start in the third quarter. And I think they won the third quarter 43-16. So, of course, that's just the law of the way it goes. They end up absolutely just blowout style yesterday. But in the first half, they couldn't get themselves together. And Bradley Beal is a great basketball player for one half. That's frustrating. It's not a bad read. Obviously, if someone says, hey, you lost a bet by 10 points, that looks like a bad read. But in my eyes, it was just they didn't get their engine going early enough, and for a team without Kevin Durant, and maybe that was my fault for not looking into that really. But second pick was Texas -7. Same thing. They got blown out in the first half. I think they were down by 25 at one point to Arkansas. They got the game back to 5 points with enough time left for them to come back. So a tremendous comeback, and I'm just sitting there hoping for overtime, and they just couldn't squeeze enough juice out left to get the game to overtime. So that's another bad loss. And then we come to the 2 victories from the video pick yesterday. It was a good day as far as that goes. Denver -10.5. Denver is an absolute buzzsaw right now. They've won 4 games in a row. They're beating the absolute brakes off of everyone that they've been playing. And now I don't want to overthink things, and the Pelicans are, they're a scrappy little team, whatever you want to call it. But Denver is a much better team than they are, and they showed it. The first half was kind of slow, and then they just kind of just stepped on them for the rest of the game. I think they put up 144 points again. Weirdly, I've seen them put up that number 5 times this year. I feel like they score a lot of points. So maybe we'll revisit them on this video. Who knows? And then the fourth pick yesterday was going to be the Hawks and the Spurs over. I told you guys yesterday that total was way too low. They played a few weeks back, and it was 132-126, so 258 points scored, and they got somewhere around there yesterday. I think it was 126-125, so 251 points scored. So cruised over that line by 10. So when you win by 10, it looks good. When you lose a bet by 10, you're an idiot. I completely, I get all that. We threw out 2 more picks on Twitter yesterday. Again, spreads and props on Twitter. Download Twitter. It takes 2 seconds to pop into a tweet and say, oh, those are the other additional picks, because we can't make them all on a video here. So, and we've been pretty good with those. We went 1-1 on those. Stanford -3. These guys had the game. They were losing the whole game too. They had the game tied with Wake Forest at home, 69 all, and they got a rebound. So they had the ball with a tie game, and they just didn't score anymore. And Wake ended up winning by 4, I want to say. So that was another game we were looking to get to overtime, or maybe get a 3-pointer and push or something like that. And Stanford couldn't get the job done. And then we took the Magic and the Kings in the first quarter over 55.5 points. I love first quarter bets. Shout out to Josh, my boy, who, we're doing this thing together. And he loves first quarter prop bets in the NBA. I love first quarter totals bets in the NBA. It's quick, it's over with, and I don't need to wait for anything to happen. You got the best players on the court starting the game, trying to get out there and set a tone, and that total flew over. I think they got 67 points in the first quarter of that game, so they easily crushed that line. So that's 3-3 day. We move on. I've got 3 picks. Let's we got 4 picks that we're going to do in the video today. Again, we'll probably, put more on Twitter. I'm going to work on a Super Bowl video today to put out lots of props that I like for the Super Bowl. I love betting props in football because that takes the game out of it. In basketball, I like spreads more, but hence the name of the channel. But tonight, let's stick to basketball. We'll worry about football later. Let me check my notes here. First one, I went back and forth on this one with Josh because I liked it, then I didn't, then I did. Marist, Marist, is taking on Fairfield. Marist is a good team every year, pretty much. They're not really good, but for their conference, they're usually one of like the 4 best teams. Fairfield last year was the best team with Quinnipiac. And Fairfield just isn't good this year. And Marist is really good. They're probably the best team in the MEAC. They're 4.5 point favorites. It's gone up to 5.5. Now I've even seen it at 6. I'm weary of it at that number. That's the thing. I liked it at 4.5. They win by 5. But when you get into 6 points, as I alluded to yesterday, 6 points in a basketball game, you're 2 3-pointers you got to win by. And with the free throw shooting the way it is in college basketball, where they're just fouling each other at the end of the game, and you shoot 2 free throws, then they come down and shoot a 3-pointer to try to get closer, and one of those goes in, and you're shaving a point off, and it's just messing up the score. So you got to be wary of that stuff. But I like Marist at the 5.5 number, and that's about as high as I would go with it. If you get it at 6, most sports books you can buy it down. I'd buy it down to 5.5. And probably take it there. It might go down closer to game time, but it's only been going up from here. And not a lot of information comes out on games from the MEAC. It's not like we're going to learn that the backup shooting guard isn't going to play tonight and the point line is going to go down. They don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. It's not basketball like in the NBA. So I like that one. Marist just better on both sides of the ball. So that's going to be our first pick. The second pick, Middle Tennessee versus Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State's won 9 games in a row at home. They're both 15-7. Jacksonville State is 1.5 point favorites at home. Very short line for a home team. Usually you're getting 3 points in basketball. So it's saying that they think they're close to each other. The big difference for me is a stat that I found today that really made me feel better about it. Jacksonville State is like 358th in the country in turning people over. So they don't create steals, only 4 a game. So that's not good in college basketball at all. But they're top 7 in the country in free throws made defensively, meaning they don't send their opponents to the foul line. They give up less than 10 made free throws per game against their defense. So they're making you earn your points. They're not giving them to you at the foul line. And that's how you lose a 1.5 point spread, as you get backdoored with some free throws, like I was saying before, or something like that. And they've won 9 games in a row at home. So that's another one. I like that. So we're going to roll with Jacksonville State minus 1.5. That one I feel the best with in the college basketball picks. So those are our 2. We're going to switch over to the NBA. In the NBA, Clippers minus 4.5. I love going. This is like my 3rd or 4th time going to the Clippers. The Clippers at home, under 6 or 7 points against an Eastern Conference team, unless it's like, one of the Boston or Cleveland, maybe the Knicks. It's just not a fun trip. And the Pacers have been on a road trip. The Pacers are just so wildly inconsistent. The Clippers have lost 2 games in a row, and they did lose one of those games really badly to the Lakers, so they're going to have some I want to get right. James Harden had like 7 points, didn't make any 3-pointers. Norman Powell has scored 20 points or more in 9 straight games, so he's really picked up the scoring load. And Kawhi is starting to really get real minutes. So you got Kawhi. If they get anything from James Harden tonight, 4.5 points against the Pacers, I just don't see it. I don't see why the Pacers would even be within 7 or 8 of that. So Clippers minus 4.5 on that one. Last one, going back to Denver, going back to the Nuggets. They just played last night, beat down, got to rest their guys. The Magic played last night. Semi-competitive game through 3 quarters, and they kind of opened it up in the fourth, but they got a lot of guys coming back from injury over the last, couple of weeks, and I just don't think the minutes are going to be there. They're 1-4 on their road trip. They're dying to get back to Orlando, so I think they have no interest in this game. Denver -6.5 is way too short. They should win this game by double digits. Again, they're scoring 129 points a game right now. The total's set at 218, which is telling me they think the Magic are going to somehow, control the tempo in this game. Michael Porter Jr. has been scoring. Jamal Murray kind of looks back. Aaron Gordon fitting well in his role. Jokic is just Jokic, and I just don't think the Magic have enough. I don't buy into that at all. Orlando is a really good team. Don't get me wrong. Just nobody should get in front of the Nuggets right now. I think the Nuggets are sneaky title contenders. So we're gonna roll with that. So recap: Marist -5.5 against Fairfield. We like Jacksonville State at home -1.5 against Middle Tennessee. We like the Clippers -4.5 at home against the Pacers. And we like the Denver Nuggets -6.5 at home against the Orlando Magic. Watch out for the football video. I'll get that out either tonight or first thing tomorrow. Super Bowl Sunday's coming. And let's go make this money. Let's go green.